to be removed and the U.S. naval blockade has to be lifted.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House, but with no deal yet, fighting keeps flaring up. The U.S. military went on the attack Saturday and Sunday, with Central Command reporting it targeted Iranian drones and air defenses and a ground control station. Iran has retaliated today, firing drones and missiles at Kuwait, where U.S. troops are stationed, but Kuwait intercepted them. And Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv.
We're also tracking developments in the conflict between Israel and Iran's largest proxy, Hezbollah. Over the weekend, Hezbollah launched more than 50 rockets into northern Israel as Israeli ground forces pushed deeper into southern Lebanon. This morning, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the IDF to strike the Lebanese capital of Beirut, specifically the Dahya neighborhood, a Hezbollah stronghold.
A two-day manhunt is over for the suspected gunman who shot two sheriff's deputies in Virginia on Friday. It ended last night with Michael Puckett's arrest in North Carolina.
Puckett is accused of opening fire on two Virginia deputies during a welfare check in Carroll County on Friday night and then fleeing the scene. Deputy Logan Utt died from his wounds.
That's Fox's Alex Hogan. Hurricane season started this morning in the Atlantic. Government forecasters predict a below-average season with 8 to 14 named storms.
Last year was also slightly below average, but a cautionary tale. We had 4 majors, 3 Category 5 monsters. Hurricane Melissa devastated Jamaica, killing close to 50 people there.
Fox Weather's Ian Oliver. None of the storms last year hit in the U.S. America's listening to.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250 micro to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
Well, the U.S. and Iran remain in conflict. Russia and Ukraine remain at war, and Ukraine's president is asking for more American support.
Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky, at the end of a 5-page letter to President Trump and Congress seeking more anti-ballistic missile defenses, urged the U.S. to remain engaged and keep standing with Ukraine. On CBS Face the Nation, Zelensky said envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner could be there very soon.
Yes, we count on their coming to Kiev. I hope that they will find a possibility to come during 2 weeks.
Zelensky said he does understand that timeline could be affected by any new negotiations in the Middle East that may arise. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Fans of the Commodores are in mourning. One of the group's co-founders has died. Ronald Laprie played bass on 3 Times the Lady in 1978, the Commodores' first #1 hit. He died suddenly over the weekend in New Zealand. Laprie was 75 years old. The Commodores have also made news. One of the bands that have pulled out of the Freedom 250 concert in Washington this month amid political controversy. President Trump posted on Truth Social, cancel it, calling those groups overpriced and boring. He wrote he wants to headline the event now as a pro-American rally. A legendary singer is exiting the stage.
92-year-old Frankie Valli canceling the remaining shows on the Four Seasons Farewell Tour. Valli posting Friday on social media that he's going to take the rest of the year off to focus on his health.
Fox's Paul Stevens. On Wall Street, rising stock futures may mean gains to start a new month, coming off a positive May that ended with the Dow and the NASDAQ at record high closings. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Monday. It is June 1st. 2026, already June. Look at that. You know what that means around here. The KURV faithful. Hurricane season. Are we getting something this year? Yeah, we'll talk with AccuWeather a little bit. And we got Joey B. Joe Bastardi on standby should be joining us At around 7:15, we'll have a conversation with him about Super El Nino and all those things, all those weather issues for this season. So join us for that conversation. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Joe Salinas and AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. He'll be joining us in about 3 minutes. A 2023 Texas immigration law can now take effect after a federal appeals court on Friday removed some barriers. The law empowers state police, any cops or DPS, to arrest and deport individuals suspected of being in the country illegally. A sad note from Raymondville, a young woman, 19-year-old Lydia Estrella de los Santos, arrested after her 7-month-old girl died late last week. Investigators say that de los Santos admitted to placing the baby in a bath, then turning on hot water and leaving the room. The baby reportedly received second and third degree burns across almost all her body. The young mother is facing multiple charges, and she's being held without bond, without bail, following Friday's court appearance. It's 7:07 on the Valley's Morning News. It's June 1st, and it's the start of hurricane season, and with it, time to review insurance issues.
The Texas Department of Insurance says people should consider adding wind coverage, as most home policies don't cover wind or hail damage for those living along the Gulf Coast. They also say people should consider adding flood insurance, as most home insurance policies don't cover flood damage. Officials do warn that this type of coverage does not take effect until 30 days after adding it. For vehicles, they recommend adding full auto coverage to help protect against flooding, hail, fire, and wind. Putting your agents and insurance companies' phone numbers in your phone, making copies of your auto and health IDs, and taking photos of every room in your house are all things TDI says could help if you need to file a claim after a storm. Emily Capatillo, TSN News.
And heads up, if you're driving a Honda, nearly 100,000 Honda vehicles being recalled, there's an issue with their airbags.
That's according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The issue surrounds a defect that could lead to the unintentional deployment of airbags. Most of the models affected are the Accord Hybrid, the Honda Acura TLX, and other Accord vehicles. Honda so far says no reports of injuries or deaths have been reported because of the issue. I'm Lisa Carton.
And as we approach the AccuWeather segment, what is left of a meteor that sent shockwaves up northeast, that wound up in the water.
The exploding meteor sent a shockwave across much of New England that rattled walls, windows, and nerves. NASA says the meteor was traveling 75,000 miles per hour when it hit the atmosphere, releasing an energy equivalent of close to 300 tons of TNT. NASA estimates the meteorites that survived are now in 100 feet of water in Cape Cod Bay. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Time is 7:09. This is News Talk 710 KURV. It is AccuWeather time, and I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch. Grow them right this spring with Purina certified feed that you will find at Martin Farm and Ranch. AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina joining us. And I noticed you wrote up the chance of a thunderstorm in the forecast. There's some shower activity. Which day this week do you think would provide us the best chance of some rain?
I think Thursday is going to be the best chance, actually.
Okay. But then an on-off chance between here
Yeah,
and
pretty much a chance every day, and it's going to ramp up a little bit. I've got a digging trough trying to make its way in. Got the southeasterly, southerly flow coming in off the Gulf, bringing in the moisture at the surface. Excuse me. The two of those are going to do again what we saw last week, where we had those pretty good showers and storms firing up from time to time in spots. But again, they're going to be pretty spotty, so it's not any one spot will certainly get them, but there's going to be the chance each and every day for us as we go through the week here. But Thursday looks to be the best chance for us.
All right. And does that change travel, like in Central Texas, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, the connection points? Is that going to be?
Yeah, not too bad today. And tomorrow, again, a chance for a shower thunderstorm. It really ramps up later in the week for them. Again, Thursday afternoon all the way to Sunday could be trouble for Dallas and Houston with some stronger storms every day. So
check with the airline then. I guess that's it. First day of hurricane season, and we got
all quiet right now and everywhere. Just took a look. No tropical stuff expected for the next 7 days anywhere. So,
yeah, usually, you know how we are. We'll look at the Bay of Campeche just south of us. We call it the tropical cradle.
Yeah.
If something pops up real quick.
Yeah, not really any trough right there right now. Right. The Atlantic's completely suppressed by a huge high out by the Azores. So
When does that Super El Nino kick in? Like late June, early July, or later,
I'm not
right?
sure. It'll be building. It'll just continue to build. I'm not sure when it'll actually peak.
Okay. We do have a conversation with our buddy Joe Bastardi. That's coming up at around 7:15, 7:16. Live conversation wherever he's at. Joey B. He's got plenty of commentary and analysis.
Yeah, it's looking to peak, late year, early 2027.
All right. So join us for that conversation coming up in a little bit. Let's see. Today on the menu is olives. That's it. Like, enjoy some olives while you walk around barefoot. Just go barefoot there. Yeah. I suppose, yeah. Later in the day.
Yeah.
And so it's National Olive Day. Enjoy some olives as you walk around barefoot. It's Go Barefoot Day. And do you know the Heimlich maneuver? Do you know how to save somebody's life, Jason?
I do, but I do need a refresher. Everybody should take a CPR course.
Well, today would be the day for that. It's a National Heimlich Maneuver Day. All right, pal. Thanks for the update. We'll check in with you next hour.
All right.
AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Katerina. And yeah, maybe a thunderstorm somewhere in South Texas. It is, again, a vast area from Starbase Brownsville, the port, all the way to the lake. It's a huge area. So maybe something will pop up today, tomorrow. Better chance, as he said, by midweek, by Thursday as well. So highs today, just let's round it out to close to triple digits, 98, 99, Mid-Valley and the Western Valley today, tomorrow, the next day. And maybe slightly cooler with hopefully some shower activity by Wednesday, Thursday. And that is your AccuWeather with the forecast. Again, big thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch for AccuWeather. Texas news, a judge issuing a temporary restraining order against the popular online communication platform in response to a request from Attorney General Ken Paxton.
Texas sued a platform called Discord, which allows users to exchange files and text messages and make video calls. It's also popular with people who play online video games. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton said the company was not doing enough to protect kids from online predators. A judge has ordered Discord to reconfigure several of its default safety settings for kids' accounts in Texas and to block sensitive content, not just blur it out. Stephen Pickering, TSN News.
It's 7:13 on News Talk 710 KURV. The U.S. Supreme Court has stepped in to settle a water dispute with New Mexico.
The court said okay to agreements concerning Texas, New Mexico, and Mexico as it comes to management of the Rio Grande. Texas joined in a series of lawsuits starting back in 2013 as Texas said excess groundwater pumping by New Mexico was shorting what water Texas could get for its own residents. Now the court has approved agreements between New Mexico, Texas, and the nation of Mexico, which means New Mexico can pump 5 million gallons less than they're currently using per year. Most people do know about the dispute surrounding the Colorado River. Experts say this one is a much bigger one. Richard Strong, TSN News.
Have you gone to the movie? Have you gone to the movies? Gone to the movie theater? Well, of late it seems that the younger set, Gen Z, is going a lot to the movies.
Let's all go to the live.
Fandango found the generation, which ranges from 14 to 29 years old, is one of the most active movie-going demographics and attends more films per year than some older generations. In 2025, members of Gen Z saw an average of 7 movies in theaters, matching average viewership of millennials, while Gen X and baby boomers saw around 6 movies on average. ComScore says Gen Z accounted for 40% of all movie audiences in North America in 2025. I'm Rob Martier.
Thank you for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV. It is June 1st. It is day 1 of the Atlantic hurricane season. And on standby is Joe Bastardi from Weather Bell. Joe Bastardi, a friend of the station of many years. And we'll take a look at that Super El Nino phenomenon that's supposed to kick in several days. Let's compare it to something similar a couple of decades back. Thank you for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV.
Later today on the Brian Kilmeade Show.
Do not miss Monday's show after your fantastic weekend. Amongst my funny guests, Jeff Foxworthy, almost as funny, Lawrence Jones, Mr. Texas, as we all get ready for the NBA Finals this week. Mark Thiessen on the Iranian deal, and Eric McTaxis on where we're going with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party as we get set for the midterms. Don't miss the Brian Kilmeade Show Monday edition.
This afternoon starting at 2 on News Talk 710 KURV, KURV.com, and the Radio Parami app. If you're looking to stay ahead in the fast-paced world of business, tune into News Talk 710 KURV, the pulse of Valley business, bringing you the latest headlines, expert insights, and real stories shaping the Rio Grande Valley's economy. From local innovation to global markets, we've got it covered. Stay informed, stay connected. Your go-to for everything business. The pulse of Valley business. News Talk 710 KURV, where knowledge meets opportunity.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in the Cal at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
If you've missed any of our interviews, no worries. Now you can watch them on any of our social media platforms. Grab your popcorn and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn to watch our video interviews. News Talk 710 KURV.
You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV, your station for Astros baseball. So they're off today, and they're in Houston. They're back home. They're hosting the Pirates. 640 broadcast Tuesday on 710 KURV. And big thank you to Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. A 7 o'clock hour around here is customary for 710 KURV. We do YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and X Live, all the social media stuff. And appreciate you going there and doing a rewind, checking some of the day's news. Joey B, Joe Bastardi, my brother, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me or see me or either one?
We got you in full color, full spectrum. We got Joey B on video. We got Joey B on audio as well from Weather Bell, friend of the station of many years, Joe Bastardi. And so glad that you could join us today on first day of the Atlantic season. We're 15 days into the Pacific season, and let's look at. And I appreciate your common sense approach to meteorological realities. And thank you for the article you sent me. Man, you were way, way ahead many weeks back, by the way, on the most recent weather trends. We can visit that here in a little bit. But this super El Nino, this weather phenomena that will play into whatever's produced, I guess, in the Atlantic. Explain it to me real quick. And again, try to explain it in... like you're trying to explain to a third grader like me, right? The intellectual of a third grader. I try to keep it as simple as possible. And then compare right now this coming Super El Nino to a phenomenon back in the late 90s that you were telling me about in that article that you sent me in 97, 98. So let's start there.
Well, first of all, there are three ways to measure the El Nino that we know about. And what they jump on is what is called the Oceanic Nino Index, which measures how warm it is in the eastern and central Pacific. This is not nearly as valid to a meteorologist as what we call the multivariate ENSO index, because that index also incorporates atmospheric reaction. So we can see what the reaction of the atmosphere is. It's very important. I mean, we had a El Nino in 23-24, strong El Nino, but the reaction was really muted. And the reason why the reactions to the El Nino, I shouldn't say muted, are different now is because of the warming of the oceans. You see, folks, when the oceans were colder, what happens is these El Ninos would come along and they'd stick out like a sore thumb. It'd be very warm in one place and cold in other places. When you don't have that, when there's less temperature contrast, what happens is the feedback, what we call the feedbacks, the reactions, are different. So the reactions are going to be different now than what they were, and these people are screaming and yelling about this El Nino and that El Nino. By the way, the 97, 98 El Nino, a record low amount of damage to the United States from the average amount of damage from June, where we are now, start hurricane season, till next May, which includes the winter season. When I talk about damage, I'm also talking about our energy costs and heating costs and things like that, was about 25% of normal. So you can't just lump all these things together. I'm about to go to a family reunion in a couple of weeks, and it's interesting because Arby's has a loaded Italian. Every time I go to my family reunion, a lot of loaded Italians. I stole that from Larry the Cable Guy. But listen. That we're all related with the same blood, but many of us are different. The same thing with these El Nino, La Ninas. They all share a common thread. They warm up in one place, but the reactions are always different. And what's happened today with the whole the climate change people are not going away. I mean, the man-made they're not. Believe me, you're not going to put them out. Anything is going to try to be blown out of proportion. Any situation that happens, the big flood last July 4th in Texas, if it happens again this year, it'll be because of the super El Nino, because of supercharged ocean temperatures, because of man-made it's just constant, relentless. So what we want to do is, and what's very important in making a forecast, because my job, obviously with this face, my job isn't, I'm no Don Juan here. My job is to nail forecasts in advance, getting my clients in February. We were all over this in February, saying this is coming. So what happens is my clients know, but they also know all these other things I'm telling you about. Hey, they're mitigating circumstances, and partly because of where, how warm the ocean is all around. By the way, where it's really going to make an impact is the Far East, which our typhoon seasons have been way down out there. So they're going to have a banner year. And Mexico, the west coast of Mexico, we got to really look out for that. Those are both places I expect above normal impact.
So
U.S. is very interesting though with these kind of El Ninos,
Joe,
because you have a puncher's chance of it throwing a blow. We got to remember, there by the grace of God go I in not only 1999 when Brett went up to the north, but Anita in 77, went to the south of us, and that was a Category 5. And 77 was an El Nino also. So you've got to look at these things individually, not just all lump them together, throw it in a pot, and say, "Well, there's the stew."
Friend of South Texas, friend of KURV, our buddy Joe Bastardi joining us on this day one of the Atlantic hurricane season. And because of this weather phenomenon, there's a super El Nino that's supposed to kick in at some point. It gets midsummer, late June or July. Perhaps tamp down the Atlantic season a bit, and maybe a bit more active on the Pacific side for Mexico, which is not bad, I suppose, when it comes to insurance issues and expenses, and energy expenses, as Joe was saying. But on the Pacific side, if it's more active over there, see, Joe, we just need relief. We need water in the watershed. So,
as I've reminded you, there's only so, Sergio and I have been talking a couple of months on this drought situation. Said we're going to go above normal over the next couple of months, and we have been above normal. But one of the biggest problems is, people don't understand the drought index is also based on demand. You could get the same amount of precipitation at this time of the year as you did in 1954, but it would result in more drought now because we have more demand. California is classic, and they love to use that. So you have to understand that we got a lot of demand. Now, the way we get out, we continue to rain like this. This is nice. I mean, we're above normal, and so we're going to stay above normal the next 1 to 2 weeks. I've been thinking something's going to try popping the Gulf in June, and it's interesting in that if not this week, next week, it looks like there might be a little bit of a better chance, especially in the western Gulf of Mexico. The good news about this, Sergio, is that Charlie Rankin, when I first came aboard way back when, the living legend, or he's passed from us now. God bless him.
He's still living. He's living in eternity, but he's still.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But Charlie used to always bring up, hey, these waves, even though they don't develop, they're important because even if they go to the south of Mexico, they stick a nose up north that delivers rain to us in the lower Rio Grande Valley, while the rest of Texas goes back into a drought, which I think is going to happen mid and late summer. Most of the state will be back into this drought again mid and late summer, but we're not mid and late summer. But we benefit from that stuff, and of course, you get a couple of hurricanes on the Pacific side that recurve, and they dump a lot of water in the watershed, and that's what we are very, very concerned about.
That's what I was going to ask you because of the increase a chance, perhaps, right, on the Pacific side, as you mentioned. That's what we need to look at on the western coast of Mexico. See if it crosses and then eventually dumps something in the Rio.
Mexico itself is going to be wet the next 45 days. I mean, they're going to do it'll be cooler and wetter than normal next 45 days. We'll be on the eastern side of that. I mean, cooler than normal is always relative in the lower Rio Grande Valley because even when it's cool, the humidity is way up. And so, but whenever it rain blunts heat. It blunts the high temperature, doesn't blunt the low temperature, blunts the high temperature quite a bit. So Mexico, I think Mexico looks cool and wet now for the next 45 days, and their season will get started. You know, we have a typhoon in the Eastern Pacific, Western Pacific's recurving. Let's look for some development off the coast of Mexico next 10 days, and then see if that pulse spreads into the Gulf of Mexico. The main development region of the Atlantic is going to be beaten like Scarlett O'Hara's mule, for those of you who've ever watched Gone with the Wind. I mean, I don't expect much of any activity, maybe a tropical storm or something, south of 25. But when they get north of 25 north, that's when you really have to start getting concerned in El Nino seasons. And oddly enough, the situation up in New England has my attention this year. Is there been a couple of El Nino years New England has gotten hit and everybody's been left off.
From Weather Bell, friend of the station, friend of South Texas, Joel Bastardi joining us this day one of hurricane season. Looks like it might be kind of quiet for us for a while, but it only takes one to make headlines around here. Maybe give us some water in the watershed, but the chances of that a bit lower now. So in that article that you sent me, the back and forth, the reaction to the heat, and so what do you think going, after hurricane season into winter? What's the prospect of an active winter season as a result?
Winter looks cool and wet across most of Texas north of I-10. You get south of I-10, it's interesting in that jet comes across the southern part of the United States, and I think it's going to be I think the entire drought situation next year at this time for the country will be almost reversed. But we got to make hay now because of the fact that a lot of times we turn out dry during these El Ninos because the core of the jet stays to the north. And on the southern side of the jet stream we talk about, what you get is a lot of sinking air, so it dries out. Most El Nino seasons are drier than normal down here. They're much wetter than normal and snowier than normal. Some of the best storms we've had, looking at College Station, which I always looked at, always occurred in an El Nino season. So if you're and by cool, I mean there's less of a chance of a severe Arctic outbreak like we said in 21 in an El Nino season, but constant below normal temperatures. That's another matter. And as a matter of fact, after I think what's going to be a very hot August and September across Texas, I think you'll see a big change in October and November to cooler than normal, especially over central and northern Texas. Down here, like I said before, down here, a lot of times we miss out on the direct El Nino, impacts that we look at.
Well, before that weather pattern shows up, keep it coming, Joel. As you said, a couple of weeks, maybe a little wetter than normal. It'd be nice to see.
Oh, yeah, it'll be wetter than normal. Question is, can we get, the thing that turns you around is you get, I'm not advocating for, Beulah coming through here, but the thing that really turns you around is like 54 when Alice went up. It was a hurricane, but went up, over just south of us and went up in a watershed and filled up those lakes in 54. Because we would have 54, if you had 54 repeating today, for instance, if Alice had not gone up there, the drought in 54 was just out of control in the summer. That's the year of the Junction Boys. So I researched all the weather as to what happened with that. So, you get that kind of thing, and then we could be in pretty good shape. But look, folks, here, let me remind you, we are very prosperous. We're hugely important to the world, the country, and you got a lot of demand. You have to look at the big picture. Propaganda depends on a piece of truth, but not telling you the entire picture. I try to fill in the entire picture for you.
All right. And as Joey B always says, enjoy the weather. Why, Joey?
Enjoy the only weather we got.
That's right.
Thank God.
From Weather Bell. Our friend Joe Bastardi. Be well, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
God bless you.
Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV on your station for Astros baseball. Check out sports up next. Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing will get you ready for that storm season. You need to know the condition of your commercial roofing system. Call Chamberlain Roofing Waterproofing, and they will do this for free. I'm talking about top experts that are cross-trained in all the different types of commercial roofing systems. Get them over to your places, all your warehouses and commercial strips. Let them check for free. Gratis, no expense to you. See if everything's okay. If there's some weak spots, they'll tell you. You don't know what to look for. They do. Now, if there's nothing wrong with your commercial roofing system, they'll tell you. These are godly people, good people at Chamberlain. They'll be honest with you. Say, there's nothing wrong. Call us in, I don't know, like a year or two. But get ready for a storm season. Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. Look at that. It's in the name. Precisely what you need. Waterproof your commercial roofing system. I get that free report from Chamberlain Roofing Waterproofing. Chamberlain with almost 130 years of experience, cutting-edge roof installation, advanced waterproofing solutions, free inspection of all your properties, all your roofing systems from Chamberlain, chamberlainltd.com at 956-655-6178.
Coming up after the Valley's Morning News, stay tuned for the Sergio Show starting at 9, followed by the Dana Lash Show at 11 on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Potomy app.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
The San Antonio Spurs are headed to the NBA Finals after defeating the defending champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder, in Game 7 Saturday, 111-103. The Spurs were led by Victor Wembanyama, who scored 22 points to go along with 7 rebounds, as he went on to receive the Western Conference Finals MVP. Julian Champagnie also had a solid game, dropping 20 points, including 6 triples. This marks the first time since 2014 for the Spurs to reach the NBA Finals. The team will get a few days off before hosting the East champs in the New York Knicks in Game 1 on Wednesday. Tip-off is scheduled for 7:30. Yesterday, the Texas Rangers were able to defeat the Kansas City Royals 6-3, resulting in a 3-game sweep. Texas jumped out in front in the first inning, scoring 4 runs, including an Ezekiel Duran triple. Already with a 4-0 lead, Texas plated 2 more in the fourth with a Josh Young single. Kansas City would cut into the lead, scoring 1 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th, but Jacob Lax was able to shut the door in the 9th. The Rangers are in St. Louis today to play the Cardinals, with first pitch scheduled for 6:45. And the Houston Astros had a rough outing yesterday, falling to the Milwaukee Brewers 2-0. The Astros pitching was great, allowing just 4 hits, but one being a 2-run homer.
1-2 pitch to Bowers. Hits this one pretty well to left, and that is out of here.
That would be all it took, as Houston would only mount 3 hits and score no runs.
AccuWeather says highs for today should be close to triple digits. We're looking at mid to upper 90s. There might be a pop-up thunder shower somewhere in South Texas. The chances a bit lower. I'd say less than 20%, but hey, you never know. If it hits you, it's 100%, right? So it's 20% or less today, tomorrow. Better chance by Wednesday and into Thursday. It goes about 50% around Wednesday and Thursday. As a result, temperatures should be in the low to mid 90s by then. But today, closer to triple digits and plenty of humidity. Right now, it's 80 degrees, McAllen, Edinburgh, Mission, and it's 76, 77 at Brownsville and Starbase. Water Bridge wait times is posted on KURV. B&M Bridge at last check was about 45 minutes. Gateway at 1 hour, headed back to the U.S. Veterans, the same thing, about 1 hour. And as far as McAllen, Edinburgh, Mission, the Hidalgo Bridge was busy, about 30, 40 minutes at last check. Thank you for waking up with News Talk 710 KURV. Business news check of your money and a Honda recall. Something wrong with the airbags or some of the airbags. That information next on the Valley's Morning News. Top real estate team in this entire region is the Ryan & Bryan Real Estate Team, and I invite you to give them a call and start a conversation with this team about selling your home or buying a home with the team that will get it done. The Ryan & Bryan Real Estate Team. Any real estate agent can help you make an offer on a home, But what you need on your side are folks who can negotiate. That's the Ryan and Bryan real estate team. Whether you're purchasing a home or you want to save some money, you're selling a home, you want to squeeze as much capital out of that asset. That's right. It's the Ryan and Bryan real estate team. Prepared to save as much money as you can. Alberto just saved thousands of dollars on his new home here in the Valley because of Alex from the Ryan and Bryan real estate team. Alex from the team was able to inspect the site, find a good home. Alberto liked the house. Alex was able to negotiate some necessary repairs on the roof, other items, and helped Alberto save a lot of money because after all, why should Alberto have to pay for that, right? The owner should pay for that. And also Alex helped Alberto save on top of the savings on the repairs. Alberto was able to save 12 grand negotiated off the closing cost thanks to the Ryan and Bryan real estate team. That could be you, amigo. So call the Ryan and Bryan real estate team today, 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbryan.com. That's ryanandbryan.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Bryan. Go to ryanandbryan.com.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz. Are you having difficulty getting answers from federal agencies? My office is here to help. Call us at 956-800-6069 to share your issue, and we will be in touch. Team De La Cruz is here to serve you. God bless. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congresswoman De La Cruz.
You hungry right now? How about some mouth-watering, great tasting, great smelling, beautiful enchiladas and a fajita taco and rice and beans? elpato.com is the website for you to order online right now or phone it in like I do. For a limited time, check out the new special, 2 chicken or cheese enchiladas. Oh, that yellow cheese is divine at El Pato. Where do they find that yellow cheese? So those 2 enchiladas, 1 big fat fajita taco, the fajita pato, the rice of your choice, refried. I love the refried beans from El Pato. The charro beans are just as good. Mexican rice and the drink, an amazing $9.99. Limited time. That's a lot of food at El Pato. Don't forget the daily specials at $6.49. Could be carne guisada, chicken guisado, taquitos mexicanos, and so on and so forth. Every day, all day long. And at El Pato, they have breakfast all day. You want some potato, egg, bacon, bean, or chorizo and egg with potato and cheese? Patos for dinner? Yeah. Stop by El Pato.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC. McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. EasyJet shares have risen more than 11% this morning after the budget carrier said it has not received a takeover offer from U.S. investment firm Castlelake, but would consider any proposals should one be made. The group has seen its stock price slump more than 40% over the last 5 years. Japan's SoftBank is planning to invest $53 billion over 5 years to build AI infrastructure in France in the first phase of its push. The commitment is part of an $87 billion program by SoftBank to build AI data centers in France. It marks the Japanese tech giant's largest AI infrastructure investment in Europe. Dell has unveiled its most affordable laptop yet, the XPS 13. As the PC maker aims to capture market share from Apple's MacBook Neo by attracting students and young professionals. Starting at $699 and a reduced $599 for students aged 16 and older during the back-to-school season, Dell said the XPS 13 seeks to offer a superior experience compared to the MacBook Neo. Futures are slightly higher. That's Your Money Now.
Heads up, if you drive a Honda, nearly 100,000 vehicles are being recalled by Honda. There's an issue with some of these airbags. The issue involves some type of defect that could lead to unintentional deployment of the airbag. Oh, that would not be good if you're on the highway. And after 3 years, some up in D.C. are still at it. There's a renewed push to try to keep radio in new vehicles, AM radio specifically in new vehicles.
The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act just cleared a major House committee aiming to force car makers to keep the free service standard in all new vehicles. Florida Congressman Gus Belarakis warns that when hurricanes strike and cell towers fail, AM radio is a critical emergency lifeline for local news and evacuation orders.
I represent some rural areas, and they
listen to AM radio for updates. So it's an issue. It's a safety issue.
The bill would also ban automakers from charging subscription fees just to listen to the AM dial. I'm Michael Kastner.
Of course. That's why I keep telling you. Go to Radio Para Mí. Go get the free app and listen free. I did say free online. Radio Para Mí. 710 KURV is on that app. You could be listening on your smartphone. Don't have to worry about, the little squirrel that's running the generator at the AM transmitter. That little squirrel, takes a smoke break and gets tired every now and then. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Radio Para Mí. Go get the free app. Listen to 710 KURV. AccuWeather says highs today should be close to triple digits. Nice and hot. It's already nice and warm. Low 80s, 80, 81. McAllen, Edinburgh, Mission, Mid-Valley as well. And it's 77 at Starbase near Brownsville. Thank you for waking up with the Valley's morning news. This is Newstalk 710 KURV. Latest on the Iran war and that elusive peace deal. We got Fox News coming up in 2 minutes on the Valley's morning news.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drt'sprimarycare.com.
Lots to do every day. You've been thinking about taking care of business for the sake of your family, your immediate family. Call Carla McCaleb, the McCaleb clan from Weslaco, pillars in our community, 60 plus years. Mark and Carla, of course, are the latest iteration of the McCaleb clan. But Mark and Carla and their parents and parents before them, we're talking about 60 years. McCaleb Funeral Home has been taking care, loving on Valley families that lose a loved one. McCaleb Funeral Home, they just have a very special way of remembering a life, celebrating lives. Now, the reason I'm reminding you of them, Mark and Carla, I want you to call or text Carla. I'm going to give you her personal number. Ask Carla. Either she will go or somebody will go to your business, to your office, to your house, wherever you are. Have a sit down, and for several minutes, answer. You need to answer all the details related to that funeral event that's somewhere in the future, somewhere. We just don't know. Only the Lord knows that. Get all that taken care of, answer all those questions, and prepare this, that, and the other, and set up prepayment. It's like life insurance or taking care of your financials. For who? For your immediate family, right? My mom and dad did this for me. It made a world of difference when that time came. Pre-plan, prepay. Carla McCaleb, again, they'll go to you wherever you are. Have that sit down and put it on the shelf. Wait on the Lord. Carla McCaleb is at 956-650-2841.
Your news, weather, and talk station. News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
It's the pulse of the 956 News Talk 710 KURV. This is the Valley's morning news for Monday, June 1st, 2026. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer, the mighty Joe Salinas, and we got AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina, leaving a small chance of a thunder shower in the forecast today. Same thing for tomorrow. Better chance by midweek, Wednesday and Thursday. Highs today should be close to triple digits. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa, trying to figure out who's in charge of Iran.
The regime is fairly discombobulated, as you know. That's why it's taken so long to negotiate anything.
Tennessee Senator Bill Hagerty speaking to Fox. The U.S. and Iran trading strikes over the weekend, and President Trump says, don't rush me.
The president issuing a message of reassurance this morning on Truth Social, especially for those who are pushing him to get this deal done faster. He said, quote, sit back and relax. It'll all work out in the end. Iran really wants to make a deal, and it will be a good one for the USA and those that are with us.
Fox's Alexandra Hoff. It's the final full day of campaigning for tomorrow's California primary for governor. The top two vote getters advance to the November general election. In Los Angeles, it's called a nonpartisan election. If one of the three top candidates gets more than 50% of the vote, they win the race outright. If not, there's a November runoff. America's listening to Fox News.
12:15 to the hour on the Valley's Morning News, June 1st, first day of Atlantic hurricane season. And with it, it's time to check that insurance coverage.
The Texas Department of Insurance says people should consider adding wind coverage, as most home policies don't cover wind or hail damage for those living along the Gulf Coast. They also say people should consider adding flood insurance, as most home insurance policies don't cover flood damage. Officials do warn that this type of coverage does not take effect until 30 days after adding it. For vehicles, they recommend adding full auto coverage to help protect against flooding, hail, fire, and wind. Putting your agents and insurance companies' phone numbers in your phone, making copies of your auto and health IDs, and taking photos of every room in your house are all things TDI says could help if you need to file a claim after a storm. Emily Capatillo, TSN News.
If I were to take pictures of it, I need to clean the wet clothes rooms, Freddie, Joe, because like, where's the good stuff there? Because it's everywhere. All the stuff is everywhere. That way you can define the furniture, right? And things. That's the whole idea. So 14 minutes to the hour on the Valley's Morning News. A new law requiring app stores to get parental consent for users 13 years and younger. Yeah, that can move forward after some legal hurdles were cleared in court.
It's a victory for Texas. State Senator Angela Paxton's App Store Accountability Act will now be allowed to go into effect. It requires app stores to verify users' ages and obtain parental consent for those under 13.
In the real world, minor children are not signing contracts with businesses. But in the digital world, they do this every single day.
The Fifth Circuit Court did not provide an explanation for their decision to stay the lower court decision that blocked the law from going into effect. The lower court had sided with the tech industry that the law violated free speech rights. In Austin, Chris Fox, TSN News.
And AAA Texas is urging folks to practice 100 days of safe driving.
The campaign runs between now and Labor Day. According to AAA, in 2024, more than 2,600 people were killed across the country in crashes involving a teen driver. Additionally, 1/3 of those deaths occurred during the summer period between Memorial Day and Labor Day. AAA is offering the following tips for teen drivers. Avoid distractions, especially cell phones. Obey speed limits. Always wear a seatbelt and never drive impaired. And parents should provide a good example. AAA offers a formal contract for teen drivers and parents. Search for Parent-Teen Driving Agreement. John Mark Dempsey, TSN News.
Appreciate you waking up with News Talk 710 KURV. Go find us online. Radio Para Mi is the free app, and that way you can take in all the news, local, state, relevant news to your pocketbook life. And as you heard, they're your kids as well. It's the morning news on News Talk 710 KURV. Also live at Radio Para Mi. You are not alone in taking care of mom and dad. You are not alone in taking care of that family member that today, well, they need a bath. Every day you need a bath, right? Healthcare Unlimited. They were there for me. They were part of that team many years back when mom and dad were with me, and they lived here in the Valley, moved them down from Houston. And my dad, being as sick as he was very, very ill, bedridden the rest of his life after a neurological issue. Healthcare Unlimited, they provided, healthcare at home, from making sure the medicines were taking, blood pressure and checking this, that, and the other, just like what a nurse, like a provider will do. Even some nurses, they provide that nursing care at home. But on the provider side, daily meal, and cleaning up the house a little bit. Yes, like I mentioned, the bath. Make sure that my dad, he wasn't Mr. Stinky. Wash him up a little bit. Hair, and grooming, all those things. And even for example, my dad, he was paralyzed, left side, his entire side, left side of his body paralyzed. Well, he couldn't exactly button up and put on pants, right? Yeah, all the daily health care, the daily provider care. Healthcare Unlimited. These are godly people, wonderful people, loving people. It takes a very special heart to be a provider. Healthcare Unlimited. Call them today. Ask them to help you take care of your precious mom and dad at their house where they wish to be. Healthcare Unlimited is at 956-994-9911.
If you want to keep your storefront as it is, well, that's your business.
If you want a beautiful new storefront, now that's our business with Refresh 50/50. Refresh 50/50 is the City of McAllen's grant program that offers up to $25,000 in matching funds to beautify your storefront. Refresh 50/50 provides funds for improvements like new doors and windows, exterior paintings and art projects, and repair or removal of old signs and awnings. Add new lighting to enhance your storefront, install permanent landscaping, or finally repair roofs, stucco, and other parts of your exterior. The City of McAllen increased Refresh 50/50 grants to $25,000 to help more small businesses grow. Over 100 McAllen businesses have been helped. Restaurants, retail, and more. Let us help you. Contact the City of McAllen Office of Retail and Business Development at 681-1001 or apply at refresh5050.com.
If it's happening in the Valley, we're talking about it. 710 KURV and KURV.com.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Clouds and sun today. Humid. A thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. Highs in the 90s to near triple digits with the east-southeast winds at 7 to 14 miles.